Hey, street team. I have the pleasure of interviewing Danielle, aka Danny. We got the whole same name. Okay.
Oh, yep.
She's on Basketball Wives Orlando. Aside from that, she has a degree in criminal justice. We love an educated queen. And she also has her own brand called Empowered by Danielle. And she played basketball overseas. Basketball Wives Orlando had a hell of a first season. Y'all were going viral. Y'all was trending every night on freaking Twitter. So we gotta get into this.
Yeah, it was crazy. I'm still like in shock.
Yes, I really hope that y'all get renewed for season two because I need some answers. And I'm really mad that y'all didn't get a reunion.
I know. I had heard it's crazy because one of our executive producers had commented on a post. Mind you, I ain't talked to her. Nobody really has talked to them. So it was a little weird, but love her to death. She commented on one of somebody had posted something like a review or something. I think it was Isaiah J.
Mm-hmm.
So he posted a review and she was in the comments and I was like, she said something about they was working on trying to get a reunion going. So I don't know. That was a couple weeks ago. I don't know what truth that is. I don't know if they're in the talks. I haven't spoke with anybody, but from my understanding, it was a network decision to not give us a reunion.
That's crazy as hell because I'm sorry, like I started watching after two episodes. I was done. I was like, this is fresh, it's new people, and y'all got something crazy going on every episode.
I think the difference between our show in LA is obviously the age difference. There's a significant age difference within our cast. They have like, grown women stuff going on. They talking about, children being deceased and passing away. I love Brooke Down. Like she's from California, so that's my little SoCal connection. I love her. Like their foundations, getting married, their production company. So they have like grown high level stuff going on. We kind of got like 10 years before they had to go through all of their stuff. We still dealing with the stuff they probably was dealing with when they was our age, like the side
Mm-hmm.
chicks, the infidelities, the drama. And Brooke paint when me and Brooke actually had to sit down. We went to dinner after one of these promo shoots we did together as a joint cast. So
Oh,
it was LA and Orlando. We did a joint promotion. I don't know if it was like the 10 things about basketball wives. It was all on the little basketball wives page. But it was like when Jackie came down the stairs and then she got married at the end. We all did
mm-hmm.
that promotion together. So me and Brooke had a conversation and she was telling us like, yeah, y'all got some like some different like, and they're, doing their thing. So big ups to Basketball Wives or LA. I love that cast. I love them. But yeah, I think our show is like a little bit more spicy. We have some real shit going on. Like none of this shit is fake. I know a lot of people ask that like, is it fake? Is no, this stuff is real. So
We know it's real because y'all been going at it on Twitter. I'm like, child, and I have to follow people that I don't even like to see this because I need to see this mess.
No, you gotta see it. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. We're gonna get into it.
Yes, we are. Okay, so you're from South San Diego. I've never been there. So, like, what is it like?
So I'm from Southeast San Diego. When I was growing up, the demographic was like, majority black and Hispanic.
Mhm.
San Diego is actually 15 minutes from the border. So we do have a huge like cartel presence. There's a lot of like gang politics in San Diego. So it wasn't like the greatest of upbringings, in the area, but my parents, they're both working people. They always kept employment. My dad has had great jobs, my mom had great jobs. They made sure I didn't want for nothing. Shout out to my
Period.
parents. They always made sure I had the means to get to and from, make sure that I did the things that I wanted to do in life, make sure that I stayed focused and stay positive. I have really, really great instrumental parents who are also helping me with, my parenting today. So I just thank God for them because if I ain't had them, I don't know where I'll be right now. Lord Jesus. When it comes to me and my babies. But yeah, I mean, Southeast is like, you know, from the trenches, like it's the little San Diego trench. Every little city got its trench. I'm from the little San Diego trenches. That's how I put it.
Okay, cool. I'm from St. Louis, and people say what they want to say about St. Louis, but I feel like when you live in areas like that, it builds character, it brings the hustle out of you, and you're well rounded and not weird. Like you're used to different type of people.
Exactly. And my thing is like, and it's another thing I guess we could talk about too, like with the Twitter stuff. It was like, to me, like I'm really from like, from when people talk about like gang politics and like some of the stuff that happened at the end of the show, like I'm really from this kind of stuff. I done seen people lose their lives behind it. So like to like play with it and pretend like this is something that you're about or you're from is like, to me it's lame, because I just don't respect it. Because no people that's really doing this is like broadcasting that they doing it. Okay, girl.
Girl, you let them put a battery in your back. Sit down.
Look, sit down. But
Okay,
it's
so you know the haters be on social media like, oh, you're just on reality TV, but you got a whole degree in criminal justice. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, so actually, I played high school basketball for Mount Miguel here in San Diego. It's one of the well, it was, now it's not. It was one of like premier schools to go and play basketball here in the city for girls. I received a 4-year full ride scholarship to attend the University of Nevada, Las Vegas at UNLV. There, I received my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. I went overseas, played basketball for a year professionally. After I played professionally, I ended up coming back that summer. I got pregnant, had my son Carter. From there, it was like I had great jobs, government jobs, but it was always kind of like I had to do stuff on Rashad's schedule, because it
Mhm.
was like, okay, we going to this country for 6 months. Okay, come back, work for the government for 6 months. Okay, boom, put that job on hold. I've always really loved and revered in these positions, so they're able to work with me. Sometimes I was able to take my work with me. So I had some flexibility in that. But ultimately, while I was working for Hennepin County in Minneapolis, I actually got some tuition reimbursement. I ended up getting my master's degree in criminal justice. So I'm just utilizing the system at this point. These great high paying jobs are willing to pay you to go back to school. So I said, I'm gonna go back to school. I knew at some point, in the back of your head when you're dating an athlete, like my dad always made sure that I was one of those girls, like, you can be with this man, but don't ever depend on him. Cause you was always that girl. You always been that girl. And I always post stuff like my parents been telling me I was that girl. So it's like, can't nobody like, I don't, there ain't no hater in my spirit. Like there ain't no hater in my blood or in my spirit. So it's like when somebody telling me I'm that girl, I already knew. Cause my parents been telling me this since I was a kid. And I've always played basketball. I had my own. So he was like, you always got to advance your career, advance your education, and make sure you can step by yourself. So when you are, he basically told me like, dudes ain't. So when it's time to step away, you got something to step away to. And that's what I had. So when I walked away from the situation, I had my master's, I had my bachelor's, I had multiple certificates. I had all kind of stuff. I was full circle, well rounded, was able to leave and go get I know I tweeted about it because somebody tried to say something like, you're nobody. I said, baby, I walked away from $100,000 position plus running one of the top nonprofits here in San Diego to come do this show. So let's be clear. I went out on a leap of faith to do this show because at the end of the day, I can always go get that job. This opportunity might not come again. So I took it. And I know, well, why would you do that? Because that nonprofit's been there for 30 plus years and it's going to be there. This opportunity, most girls are dying to get on Basketball Wives and can't. So I was lucky to be able to seize the opportunity, seize the moment, and here we are.
I love that in your answer, you said that your parents always told you that you were that girl and you always had something on your own, because nowadays these girls be bums. They be depending on these men and don't care and just want to sit in the house and be a housewife. So it's like you got your own going on. You can't little girl me, baby.
Yeah, and you know what? And it's crazy because like it's this thing nowadays where it's like soft girl era and everybody want to be in a soft girl era and this snap, and people think that comes with like a man doing and taking care of you and making sure that you have everything from financial to a roof over your head to whatever the case may be. And it's funny because when that scene aired, when there was a scene where baby said, oh, you be begging for rent money, I had to post a screenshot like, I know y'all be having this little pillow talk behind closed doors, but you got to remember, like, he's telling me a different story. So I posted that screenshot, and that screenshot ended up saying, no, you ain't never had to beg for nothing. This is what he's saying to me. You ain't never had to beg for nothing. You ain't never begged me for nothing. You always had jobs. You always had the amazing jobs. You always kept employment. And if I got it, you got it. So it's like, on one hand, you telling me this, but you telling her that. So it's like, imagine the level of confusion that's going on the entire time we filming.
For me, it was always repeating something that he said to you, like dudes don't say one thing to you and say one thing to the other thing. And when it comes to a baby mama, you shouldn't even be adding into the equation, repeating what somebody else said, because if he'll talk about his baby mama to you and treat his baby mama that way to you, what you think he gonna do with you if he get a baby in you?
Girl, even without a baby.
Like,
girl, talking crazy. But I don't be trying to throw shade on people. I be hoping, praying to God that it works out, is positive. Like, even I've done other interviews where people ask me, like, oh, did you feel vindicated when he came on the show and said what he said? I'm just like, that didn't make me feel good, because my daughter got to go back and see that. Like, he looked like a womanizer. Looked like he disrespectful. Like, why would you come on the show and embarrass her like that? Like, I even said that, and she's still coming down my throat. Like, I don't think I'm your problem, babe. I think what your problem is that man came and played you on your own platform. That's why you mad.
girl, that was a mess. The internet was clowning for days.
I don't have no title for this.
That shit was crazy. I was shocked. I was like,
I mean, she can't say he ain't tell her, because he told her straight up, like, well, when I get a side chick, or if I get a side chick, I'll let you know, but we're not in a relationship. So after that, I was just like, please be quiet, because that's not your boyfriend. And telling us now that he's your boyfriend and he told you on TV he wasn't, we don't care.
Yeah, it's like, it's unfortunate.
We don't care. Like, he said it, we don't care.
Yeah, everybody's just like, girl, let it go. Pack it up. Pack it up.
So how did you and Rashad actually meet?
Yeah, me and Rashad met in college. Rashad was 18 years old when he got to UNLV. I'm not sure what fucking lies this weird is telling. I'm pretty sure college, if she went to college, she would know that college starts at the end of the year, typically, like late fall. Rashad's birthday's in the summertime. So yeah, so Rashad was 18 years old when I met him. Rashad had multiple. He was a first round draft pick. Everybody wanted this man on campus. And guess who else was that girl on campus? Me. So guess who else had all they dudes? Me. When I left UNLV and Rashad left to go to the NBA, me and him were not communicating. I went on to play overseas. He went to the NBA. I came back that summer. He was still in the NBA. I ended up getting pregnant with my son. And Rashad was not 17 years old. My son's about to be 7, and Rashad's 27. So let's do the math. Bozo. And y'all playing pretending on the internet, doing all this weird, like, girl. That man telling the streets that he's single. You keep lying to that girl. Lead with the truth, baby. That's the problem. That was the problem with us. You was leading with lies. Way back when I met you, you leading with lies. Lies, 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 lies. That's why it's never going to work. Because every relationship you get into, you leading with lies. Tell that girl the truth of what happened. Tell that girl the truth of when we stopped dating. Tell that girl the truth on why we really stopped being together. And I ain't even told the whole truth, because I tweeted that too, just to kind of get him to get back on track. Don't have me tell the full truth of why we really stopped being together, because I ain't even told the full truth. I'm telling the world half the truth to protect you and my kids.
I do feel like you were protecting him a little bit on the show too.
Exactly, because I stayed quiet. I didn't even really drag him like that. I was, trying to keep it at a minimum, trying to be respectful. I'm gonna come on here. I'm gonna tell my truth. I even got screenshots. He told me, like, yeah, go on the show. Don't stop your bag. I would never do a show with her. I would never do no. Me and her do communicate, but I would never come on no reality show with that girl. She barely know me. I barely know her. We just started texting. We just started. She told Lindsay they was dating since February. Told the internet that scene was shot 2 months after they dated. That's a goddamn lie. That scene was shot in September.
Well, see, this is where things get tricky, because I remember when they first announced that y'all were gonna have a season, I had made a TikTok because I had went and looked all of y'all up, and I looked you up, and I'm like, Danielle want to be private so bad. She ain't got nothing on this page.
You like Miss Private. I was like, you funny.
Like, she ain't got nothing on this page.
And that's the thing. I was like, girl, I was at home taking care of my kids, being a whole fiance, girl. I was not worried about no social media. I had my man, girl. I was chilling. But I didn't need to be on the net.
I remember seeing like a description, and it said, because I got it in my phone, And it said that Mackenzie was dating somebody's boyfriend, but she didn't want people to know. And Ashley was the only person that knew because what it said she wanted to keep it a
It's a
secret
secret.
because it would start like drama within the
It's
group.
so fresh, and it would start drama in the group. Yeah.
So
You
you
see, that
never
was
even
taken
knew
down.
about her.
But you see, that was taken down because that was removed. That was later removed from the VH1 website. It's funny because that was released the weekend we were all in LA doing that promo shoot I just discussed earlier when I met Brooke and we had sat down and had that lunch or that dinner or whatever. That was never supposed to be posted on the internet. That was supposed to be for networks' eyes only. That was supposed to be the juicy little insert that they send, or the excerpt of like what our storylines will be, that they send to production to pitch, or excuse me, to the network to pitch us to the network to see if the network was willing to pick up our character. Like, okay, boom. Everybody has to be pitched. They either say yes or no to this person. That girl whole time, that was her storyline.
So just to clarify, when y'all filmed the show, you never knew that she was messing with him.
Girl, I found out a week and like a couple days before I got to Orlando.
Wow.
I found out because I got a fake DM and it said, "Ain't this your baby daddy in Tulum with Mackenzie?" I asked him and everything. I said, "How do you know her? You know, I might go on this TV show." You know, at this time, me and him still intimate. We still talking. I'm still going to see him. I'm still traveling. We still like cool. I said, like, "Oh yeah." I said, "Oh hey, how you know this girl? Whatever. It seems like y'all follow each other, or you follow her, but she don't follow you back. I'm just trying to figure out who she is or whatever. You know, because I'm going on a TV show." He said, "Oh nah, you good? Like that ain't, she ain't nobody. I just met her. You know, she was from Minnesota, and I gave her advice one time on her baby daddy."
Mm.
And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And I just kept it moving. I ain't think nothing of it. Girl, I got that message. I caught that motherfucker so fast. From there on, it was like it was just bad. As soon as I found out, he flipped, like instantly flipped. I was like, okay, you playing.
Yeah, something's going on.
Something going on. See, I found out. See, me and him probably would have still been dealing with each other to this day.
So is that why y'all stopped talking?
That's why we stopped talking like completely.
Okay.
But I took my ring off in March, but we were still dealing with each other. Like we were still trying to figure it out, you know, still trying to make it work, still going back and forth. He was telling me he loved me in May. I posted the screenshots. "Oh, I love you, you my world," and da 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 da. But lying like we been done, and just like to make her feel better. And I'm just looking at him like, you just so flawed. Like you could have just kept it P. Like I was dealing with my baby moms. Like I love her, but we ain't together, and I want to be with you now. So he could have just said it like that. I would have been like, cool. Or if but she looking at her, y'all been done. And she's standing all 10 behind it. He's saying, I'm just looking at her like, girl, you have no idea who you're dealing with.
Everybody know how guys are. They go back and forth, and then also it's kind of like you was just in a situation with your baby daddy. So why is it just like everything is just
It was no grace for me, but you know why? Because she's a colorist, she's a woman, she's a weirdo, and she don't respect girls who look like me. She think because she's light skinned with blue eyes, she's afforded certain privileges that I'm not. Just like she said at that table, it was cut out. She said, "My baby daddy takes great care of me." I said immediately after, I said, "And what makes you think mine shouldn't take care of us? Why do you think I should have to call him and run his line down for him to do for his children while y'all in Tulum?"
and why do you
And
even
he
want
ain't
to deal
paid.
with somebody like that?
And why would you even want to deal with somebody like that? I wouldn't even want to lay my ass down with no man who don't take care of his family. He texting me while he in Tulum. What you talking about? He ain't got no money, but he in Tulum. He don't want to do for his kids here because he in Tulum. My son texts him asking for basketball shoes. He don't want to do it. I wouldn't even want to deal with a nigga like that. But to each his own. That's why I don't say, because when I say something, y'all be like, oh, not y'all be like, but you know, like the world, "Oh, you're bitter, let it go. He don't want you, this to snap." Do y'all really believe that these niggas walk away from females these days?
The thing with the internet though is you can't say stuff about people and not expect them to say something back, because if you on here lying on me, I'm going to defend myself. I'm not gonna sit here and let you talk about me.
Every time. And that's why
Like,
they can't stand me, because I come with receipts. You're not finna be able to say, I'm not finna say nothing out of my mouth unless I know I got a receipt.
this tea too hot. We getting exclusive.
Talking about your emails go to spam. No, they don't. No, they don't. And you know why we email? Because that's what I set up so the attorneys can keep track.
You and Morgan got into a fight with Milan and Neek over the bully comment.
But over the bully comment. That's the thing. The reason why me and Morgan got into a fight with Neek was because, well, I guess the premise of it was the bully comment. The premise of the situation was we got to the table. Mulan felt the way about me moving the cars. Mind you, I moved the cars before we even got to the table. I moved it. I placed it. I said, girl, you know good and well I'm not sitting in front of. And my thing is, Mulan, Mulan done sat with me in my house while Rashad on the phone talking to me the whole time we filming. She done sat in the same room as me at the hair salon. And you done heard playing both sides firsthand, and you want me to sit across from this girl?
It's
Why
just
would you
asking for issues though, because why couldn't y'all just sit where y'all wanted to sit? Why we gotta have this?
How old are we? Girl, I'm not doing that. But I understand, like, with the show, it would look like we always come and start the problems and da. So, okay, cool, whatever. I get the concept, whatever. So I said, I'm not sitting there. I moved the car. I sat it down. I told Morgan, sit by me. We're going to keep it cute. Morgan was like, okay. Morgan was very calm that day. I'll get that to her. She was very calm that day, very collected. She was like, girl, I'm not worried about them. We get to the table. Nikki said, I got something to tell y'all. Well, they called y'all bullies. And what the funny thing about the whole bully comment was, Mulan had already came to told me at the basketball scene. Remember when me and her was shooting hoops, and I was like, oh yeah, I used to play basketball,
Mhm.
and I had the little swoop and the bun, that scene
Okay.
where I was shooting around and she was shooting too, and it was like our first little link up on the court. She was like, oh yeah, she was like, I know where the bully comment came from, and the producer was like, well, where it came from? They stopped the scene. Where'd it come from? And she was like, oh, I'll say it. It came from Neek. So I had already went back and told Morgan, like, Neek think we bullies. Instantly. She think we bullies, and we on that with her. Because who the fuck is you to be calling somebody a bully? So they like, and because we cool with Mulan. I'm with Mulan every single day for like the first 3 weeks of filming. I'm Mulan at my house, I'm at her house. We together every single day for the first 3 weeks of filming. We getting to know each other. We traveling together. We going places. Like, we cool. Like, that was my dog. We rocking and rolling. So we get to the scene. They move the car. We talk. Nikki says what she say, and then Nick was like, "I didn't say that," and Mulan was like, "We didn't say that." And I'm looking at Mulan like, "This is a flaw because you told me that girl said it." So I'm just watching. In that scene, I really ain't say much. I was just like, "Girl, I don't give a damn." I was like, "Y'all be doing a lot of." Because it's like y'all kicking it with us off camera, but then when we get on camera, y'all playing cool, like y'all really cool with Ashley and Mackenzie, but off camera, we all outside together. We at the hookah bar every other night. We're really kicking it. So that's where the translation for me was confusing. I'm like, if y'all don't really fuck with us, what are we doing? Nick was like, y'all is some bullies. And now y'all is some bullies because now we get to arguing. Morgan was like, no, you're a bully because a bully is leaving your homegirl in her house passed out, sloppy drunk, while you walking out the house with her talking about that Jalen Green situation.
Is this the same man that Drea is messing with?
Yes.
Girl,
Yes.
this
So
is a lot.
Mulan was dating him. I don't know if this was 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, but Mulan was dating him. And they had a birthday party. Mulan told us the story off camera. She said they was out the house. They was drunk, drinking whatever. Neek was drunk. Mulan passed out. They was in the kitchen, close to close, face to face, doing some funny activity. They was in the bathroom together. That's when Mulan had posted all them videos after I had exposed Neek and told Neek to stop bringing me up. Because I said, girl, be quiet. Because I had to really tell your fans who you really is. I told you stop bringing me up. Me and you don't have no problem. So let's keep it that way. She just keep being extra.
Why didn't we see this on the show? Like, I don't understand.
Because Neek shut it down. Neek didn't want that talked about. They had to protect her. She has the most followers on the show. She was supposed to promo our show a lot. You see, she didn't post about it a lot. She didn't talk about it a lot. She was supposed to drive the numbers. She was that person. She has 3.8 million followers on Instagram. Almost 4 million people are following her on Instagram. Her YouTube channel alone, videos do 100,000. We getting 300,000 views a show. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you supposed to be the person to drive the numbers to get people to watch the show, but you're not doing your job. So she shot it down like, no, we not talking about that, and I'm not talking about it. is what it is, and I don't want to air it. Shut it down. It wasn't aired.
That would have made like a better storyline. So as the viewers, we ended up seeing that Nikki said bullies. How did you feel about that?
They edited as if like Nikki said bullies. Nikki was giving them the word, like y'all talking about like bullies, like because they be half stepping like, oh, like you know, I don't know how to describe them. And Nikki like, girl, just say it. Y'all think that they bullies, like say it. Think they bullies. Like Nikki wasn't saying like we're bullies. She wasn't saying that we're the problem. She was saying like y'all saying like bullies, like giving them the word. I told her, why would you do that? You already know how they gonna cut it up. Obviously, you see Nikki was team us the whole show. I was like, so, but I told Nikki, I said, you know, we're gonna have to address that. And she was like, I already know. I was like, okay. But Nikki, she cool. That's my dog. You know, I with Nikki. But that situation was like, girl, why would you say that? Why would you even put yourself in? You should have let them just carry on whatever they was doing or whatever. But I see where the got like messy because it was like you gave them the word. She's like, I never called you bullies. It was them. And then they flipped it like, see, we never called you guys bullies. It was Nikki. And I'm just looking at them like, dog, shut up. Because y'all have been saying bully, 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 bully for weeks. Y'all have been saying that. And then you get in the scene wanting to fight, talking about, okay, you are a bully. Okay, well, am I a bully or I'm not a bully? Because now you're saying you didn't say it, but now I'm a bully.
Yeah, see, that's what was confusing to the viewer, because I know for me, I'm like, not that Nikki didn't call them a bully and now she hanging out with them, but then when y'all got to the table, it was like, I ain't call you a bully, but now you are a bully. And I'm like, oh, okay, what are we doing?
Okay. So yeah, so I understand where the viewers were coming from.
With that being said, do you feel like from the bully incident, scenes were edited to make you look a certain way to say, oh, she's a bully, let the internet eat this up?
Yeah, I feel like they definitely like ran with that bully comment, like the hair thing. And like my thing is, it was so funny to me because personally, I always thought Ashley was white.
I did too. We all did. And Mackenzie.
But the thing about it is, in that scene where she had the locks, she looked very brown. Like she looked super like tan. So the world, if you go back to the like things that Basketball Wife posted, the world assumed that she was a black woman. They assumed that I was shading African American and African hairstyles. And I'm just looking at the world like, obviously I can't control the narrative because it's already out there, whatever. But I'm just looking at everybody like, I'm glad y'all see like the person that I am now, because it's like I'm probably the highest educated person on the show. Obviously, I'm well versed when it comes to racial and interracial communications, comments, anything that has to do with like me speaking on hairstyles. Obviously, I'm laughing at the hairstyle on her and not the origin of the hairstyle. People was really dragging me like, you're talking, imagine an African American girl laughing at locks. I'm just like, y'all just be so selectively outraged about the most dumb things. Like, obviously, I'm laughing at Ashley because how I didn't like her, that on her. I didn't.
When I saw it, to me, it was like a white person wearing a black
hairstyle. Like, exactly, appropriating black hairstyles. That's what was popped up in my head. Y'all want to run with these type of comments, but then when Ashley was giving out that address, y'all wanted to post, like they post what they want to post. And this is kind of why I be getting into it. They don't really say nothing back to me. I'll just be kind of ranting. I'll get into it sometimes with the Basketball Wives page. And I've seen Brittany Renner have a lot of comments about it too, where it's like y'all selectively post certain things to uplift and push certain narratives. Y'all posted that locks video for like a whole week straight. It was like the beginning of every single video, if you go back. And then when it came time for the little Rashad and Mackenzie sit down, they never even posted that on the Basketball Wife page.
I feel like they were being selective and trying to get reactions, because it would be like certain things like with y'all when they would call y'all bullies, or I think they called y'all like ratchet or something.
Mean girls,
like, let's up this.
I wasn't even a part of key art. If you look at the first when they started to promote the show, I wasn't even a part of key art. I made a big fuss about that. They never changed it. I'm literally one of the breakout stars on the show, and I'm not a part of key art. And, you know, I really had to like sit back and think about it. Obviously, the show ended up kind of playing in my favor, so that was a positive.
I saw a lot of the fans saying, well, you're not a main cast member because you were not on the photo. So
I
what
was the only main cast member that was not included on that picture. I was a main cast member. Everybody in the opening titles on the show. So you know how when it's like the show first comes on and they have like everybody pop up with the name. Those are all the main cast members. And I think I'm like third or fourth in the line. But on the key art, I wasn't included.
I think Jackie had an issue like that too because they chose a photo, a billboard or something without Jackie on it. And people was like, wait, what is going on?
Exactly. And that's why I tweeted. I said, well, there was a lot of, I had tweeted basketball, Pound Sign Basketball Wives reunion when I was watching it. I had live tweeted. I was like, well, there has been a lot of key art issues. And I think that that's something to be talked about too. Like, why is it that certain people get to be promoted on the key art? You see people like Neek. I understand she got a bunch of followers, but Neek didn't have much of a storyline. I see you promoting people like Mackenzie, who her only storyline was me. So it's like, but for me not to be promoted on there, it'll have you thinking like, damn, am I not light skinned enough to be there? Am I not the aesthetic y'all looking for to be on the key art? You know what I'm saying? So it's like it'll have you thinking. In my mind, I'll be trying to like ease my mind with stuff like that because as a black girl, it's hard not to go there, but you have to think about those things. And you know, you know, it's the colorism the colorism stuff. I seen that as a question too. I feel like I experienced that, yes, with the cast for sure. You know, people like Mackenzie, not so much with Ashley, but you know, I feel like all her comments about people being broke and this and that, like, it's just like, girl, what is all that? We all driving the same cars. We all got the same shit. We all got the same bags. You might have a Birkin or two more than we got. Nobody is just doing better than nobody else. To me, it definitely has racial undertones.
And why does that even matter? Because y'all all are on the same show in the same platform. So if I'm broke, I'm on here getting money. Like that doesn't even matter. And with the colorism thing, it brings me back to one of the seasons. It was like OG and Evelyn, and OG initially left the show, but I kind of felt like they were treating OG a certain kind of way because she was dark skinned, and when she would check people and comfort them, it was a problem. But then when other people would do the same stuff that OG did, it was cool. After the fight, Milan came to Morgan's house. What happened with that whole situation?
So, we were at the pajama party, and me and Mulan got into it. I called her phone while she's still inside that house because we getting drug out by production. So when I got my trophy and got in the car, I called her phone like, pull up to Morgan house. Let's just fight. Cause you still mad about me punching you. Like, get your lick back. So I call her like, pull up. She's like, production's recording you and da-da-da, just like being the police. I'm just like, girl, pull up. Me and Morgan waiting out. Me and Morgan in the same car. I'm like, I'm about to go home. No, just tell her to pull up to my house. Mind you, Morgan lived like 5 or 6 minutes away from the location we were filming at. So we was like, we could just pull up over there. Mind you, Morgan's kids is in the house. We go in the house for 5 minutes. We go change. We come out. We waiting on the side. Like, where you at? Nikki and Megan pull up. They waiting like, okay, we just gonna make sure y'all fighting and it just be done. Like, we trying to do it real low key because we already know if production find out, we're all clipped. Like, it's over with. Like, so when she pulls up, she drives past in the car. She has some people with her. People had guns in the car. Yeah, she just was doing too much. Like, you could have came to the fight one-on-one. We could have fought, but she bringing people. She brought dudes. It was just weird. Like, it was given she didn't really want to fight. She was scared, and it was like a whole theatrics. Like, girl, you was never coming over here to fight. You was being messy. If you really wanted to fight, you would have never brought your boyfriend. Cause we all on the same show. Why? And Megan, you was like, cool. You and Megan is friends. So like, and y'all been knowing each other off the show for years. Why would Megan let you get jumped? She tweeted like she didn't come outside or something. And then I had posted like, here's a real receipt. And it was me standing outside as her car is driving past. And I'm looking at her like, girl, you didn't think I had a recording of you driving past? Like, I'm at the street and you in the car. I came on the show, didn't have a problem with anyone. I was kicking it with everybody outside the show. As soon as Mulan thought she was finna jump up, pushing Morgan in the face, I punched her.
In real life, if you have somebody that's your best friend, you kind of move when your best friend move, and you're not gonna let somebody jump your best friend.
Exactly,
So
but you
that's
see how
just
the
like
world works.
understandable.
You see how the world worked though? It was a similar situation with Suki and Safari. When Safari decided to stand back and Suki was she wasn't getting jumped, but it was like they was, throwing stuff at her. She was like riding it out by herself. I punched Mulan. I would say like it was probably 50-50, but a lot of people was like, why would you punch her? Why would you do this? Why would you do that? And I'm looking at the situation with Safari and them, they dragging Safari like, why did you not jump in? It's like with the world, it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. So just go with your best move and don't explain it to nobody, because at the end of the day, it's your choice.
In the beginning of the season, they did not like you. So it's like
At
they
all.
just was just like, we gonna any little thing she do, we gonna talk about it because we don't like her. But then at the end, it was like, okay, yay, like this is our favorite.
I'm gonna be honest, I ain't never been somewhere where I wasn't like liked.
So would
for
you
people
say this experience was weird for you? Like, how did you learn to deal with the internet trolls and everybody's opinion? Like, was it weird watching yourself on TV?
Yeah, it was so weird. It was very weird watching me on TV. But I feel like the internet trolls, like I still like sometimes I took a little internet break because they was really dragging me. I was just like, I need to take a break because I'm really dealing with real stuff. But now I feel like I know how to deal with it, because obviously a lot of the comments are positive now. But when it was negative, I feel like it was hard. It was like I was like, oh my God, people really dragging me. I was like, I ain't never been called ugly this much in my life. I said, this is crazy. Like, what is going on? But then it was like, people was just like, it's not how you look, it's your personality. I'm just like, I have such a good personality. People love me in real life. Like, so to come on this show and people just hated me, it was so weird. Like, my friends don't even say nothing about the show because they be so mad. Like, they be hot. Like, this is not you. This is so stupid, because they know what's really going on. Like,
You spent most of the season being a friend to Morgan. Do you feel like the real reason y'all not cool is because you went to Ashley's event? Because as a viewer, that's what it felt like.
as a viewer, that's what it feel like. But I feel like my personal opinion is that I feel like there was some jealousy in there. Like, I started to like create my, because technically when I came to the show, I was just a friend of, like, let's be clear, I wasn't supposed to be main cast. I wasn't supposed to be somebody who came on the show and was one of the main characters. I was really just a friend of Morgan coming to Orlando. So in the beginning, you see like, oh, my friend Danielle, she's coming here. But as the story went on, I started to have one of the most layered storylines. I had my basketball storyline. I'm finding new love. I did a lot of individual scenes when it came to dating. I did a personality test on camera. I had my basketball stuff. I worked out all summer. I had my kids. I had me and Rashad in the little infidelity stuff. I had my friendship with Morgan. I had my issues with Mulan.
Mhm.
I had all kind of stuff going on. So it was like, for people to be like, you don't have a storyline. I'm just like, I had the best storyline. Literally. You go down the list, I had the best storyline. It may not be what y'all thought was the best, but technically, when it comes to editing the show and how they edit and break the show up, I had the best storyline. That's why you see Megan, when she was giving out the end of the year awards, she gave me best storyline. She's been doing this for 10 years. This is what everybody is telling. This is what they're telling us. I had one of the most layered storylines. So I'm just looking at people like, okay, y'all obviously don't know TV, because I was that person, but cool. So it's like all that was going on. And then you translate it to on camera, it's like, yeah, I look like her homegirl. And then when I didn't look like her homegirl was when I started to, okay, a producer came to me, said, you look insane on camera and you need to bring it down a notch. I said, damn, that's some hard truth. But he's a Capricorn. Me and him, we real close. He was like, he was one of my producers. He said, you look crazy. It's not making sense. You left him and you mad. Why you mad? You left him. What you mad for? And I said, damn.
You need people like that.
You need people like that, because it was like, then I started to make it make sense on camera. I had to explain, like, it's not because I left. It's not because I want him. It's because there was an overlap. It's because I was being stalked and harassed by fake pages for months. It was because I had to start explaining it. So remember that scene where I like broke it down? My confessionals kept going back to like me explaining it and then her lie, and then me explaining it and then her lie. And then the world was like, oop, she done got caught up. Oop, caught up in a lie, caught up in another lie. And it was when me and her was having that sit down at the table. So that's when he started, when he was like, it's not making sense, girl. You're going to have to get to explaining in your confessionals why you're so upset because you look crazy. He came to me and he came to Morgan and he said that. I listened. She didn't. Her character continues to go and mine started to go down personality wise. So you see me doing a lot of this and saying, okay, girl. Okay, girl. When we was at that little event where it was the little cancer event, me and Mulan, I'm sitting there like, okay, girl, bye, give him hugs. Yeah, y'all run with that tea. I just spilled on you, but I'm gonna keep it cute. Cause that scene got hectic. She walked up on me too in that scene. She walked up on Megan. She walked up on me too. They didn't edit that in there. But every other scene, they want to call me aggressive and da da da. Okay. So I was like, I had to bring my character down a notch. So, so I feel like it was some jealousy in there. Back to your question, it was some jealousy in there. My character started to flourish. Hers continued to look crazy.
Just from experience with having like friends that you've been friends for a while, I feel like when one person start going a different direction, people only see them for who they used to be and they can't grasp that a person is growing up or whatever. So it'd be like, oh, well, it's easy for me just not to like you because I can't handle the new you and you growing and glowing.
Yeah. I feel like it was like a matter of like maybe you just used to your homegirls being your minions. I ain't never been nobody's minion or nobody like, even when me and her get into it, we having our little like issues with the other group of girls. Like, I still when it's had a sit down with Mulan, I still texted her like, at the end of the day, it was just you swung and I swung. Like she wanted somebody to like be her minion, I guess, like to play a backseat to her. And I'm just like, girl, I ain't never been no Robin. I've always been Batman in every story. I've always been captains of every team I played on. I've always been that girl. I was a professional athlete, multiple degrees, baby. I have never been the backseat to nobody. So I'm just not sure what you thought this was gonna be. And I feel like to me, it don't make no sense otherwise. It was like you jumped ship too quick. If it
Yeah.
was a matter, if it was a matter of no, you could. If it was a matter of it was over Ashley's event, why you kick it with me after Ashley's event? Why you talk to me after Ashley's event? Because I was on the phone with you the whole time while I was at the event. I talked to you on FaceTime when I was there. After the event, we went to the club that same night. I was talking to you for a couple days after that, and then all of a sudden you went ghost. Did one of the producers get in your ear? Did you think that I really was trying to be cool with Ashley? I don't get it. Did that main cast list start coming out and that kind of irritated you? Well, how is this main cast supposed to be my friend of? Was that the reason? Because that's about the same time all these lists start coming out and who was main cast and the key art and all of that. I don't know. I'm still confused.
It's sad because when the season started, I really liked both of y'all. And I was like, I like that friendship. So to see y'all being like this and then to go from, oh, I fight you and I put my hands on you, it was just crazy. Cause I'm like, dang, like, okay, were they really friends? Because even if I'm not friends with somebody no more, I'm not gonna be like you gotta do something really bad to me for me to be like, I'm gonna fight you. Like going to the Ashley event, and I mean, I said this in my review, I felt like it's a job. You can't tell your job, I'm not going here and there. And at the end of the day, this is TV. Like, if you're not putting money in my pocket for me to support my kids, I'm going where I need to go because this is a job.
Exactly. Mind you, Megan and Nikki were both invited to that event. Guess whose schedule was only on? Mine. It was only on my schedule. It was obviously going to be on Mackenzie's schedule because that's her homegirl on the show. And then it was obviously going to be on Mulan's schedule because that's her other homegirl who plays basketball. Megan and Nikki, the invitation just went poof. They didn't get invited no more. So yes, it was like, girl, this is your job. You don't have no choice. Like REP, she's very strict. Like, girl, you ain't got no choice. And she will remind you, these girls is not your friend. Get your to work. Because a lot of girls was like, I'm not going to scene. I'm not this. This is why you start to see like Mackenzie not have a lot of scenes, Neek not have a lot of scenes, like towards the middle of the show. From like episode 8 to 12, you start to see like who's the main people on the show.
Yeah.
It's like they talking about me, they talking about Ashley, they talking about Megan, they talk about Morgan. Everybody else is like, okay, here, seen here and there.
Just to kind of be fillers and fill in different spots.
Exactly.
Is it any room for you guys to no? Dang. So you done.
I mean, I don't have no problem being like cordial. And I found it actually really interesting. This was interesting to me. Somebody sent me a screenshot of her on her Instagram talking about Danielle or something like that. Like after the show, I better stop telling me y'all gonna beat my ass. So she must have been getting like threatening text messages or something in her DMs. They was like, and mind you, I don't have control over no fans. Like I'm not DMing yo. I don't even have that type of energy for somebody that I used to call homegirl. I still to this day don't have that energy for her.
Did you feel you were, taking up for her, whatever the case may be, that was your best friend, but it's like, okay, now Ashley admitted in her confessional that she gave the address out, but like now Ashley getting an apology, but I don't, and we got history in this.
It was given you been looking for a reason not to me. It was given like you been looking for a reason to be cool with Ashley. Or on the other hand, it was given like you was trying to make sure that you had your spot on next season. Cause if you would have beefed, then you would have been an outsider. Nobody would have fucked you. Cause you beefing with Ashley and all of them, and you beefing with me, who would you be cool with? It was given like you was trying to secure your spot. But I understand, I guess. Get your money.
So
to me, it's all a business. Oh, this is what I was saying in the previous time. This is where I forgot. It slipped my mind. I found it so strange. She was on live like last week or the week before talking like Danielle. After we wrapped filming, remember that LA promo shoot I told you about? She was there. She was there. She sat down at the table with us, had shots, sat down right next to me. I poured her a shot. She had a shot. We was talking, kicking it. Like it was cool. There was no issue. I didn't have an issue with her. She didn't have an issue with me. She didn't say much. I didn't say much. We kept it all business. But she on Instagram on Instagram or not live, but on her story talking crazy. Like, mind you, I ain't saying nothing negative about the all season. Now you on the internet when the show aired talking crazy. It's like, okay, y'all all weird. Like
so it's basically for the show in a sense.
I get I don't threaten my homegirls. I treat my friends like queens, the queens that they are. I ride or die for my homegirls, as y'all saw on the show. I'm very respectful, and when I'm very short to speak or slow to speak, excuse me, I'm very slow to speak when it comes to my friends because I actually care about them. Period. I would never tell my friend that I'm going to make sure they get off the show. Like, I would never tell my friend that I would beat their ass. I would never tell my friend or show text messages of what me and my friends are talking about. Or I text her at a scene like, hey, come to my room. Like we can talk. Like we staying 2 rooms down. Like, come talk to me. You think I said something? Come talk to me. She's showing my text messages on camera. And we had promised each other that we wouldn't do camera. Because we had already had a fallout off camera where she was in the wrong and she had to apologize to me. She could have came to me just like I came to her when I knew she was wrong. Like, and because my thing is I could have told the world what you did to me, and then you'll be looking insane. For real, for real. So it's just like, come on, baby, like what we doing here? It's like you been looking for a problem. You been looking like you want to have an issue. And the world picked up on that shit. And I'm just thinking, God, millions of people ain't crazy.
The conversation should have been had, and especially on screen. So just to clarify, because I'd be crazy to not ask, did you talk about Morgan to anyone in a negative way?
Girl, no. But now, absolutely. Since then, absolutely. Been with you, we is not cool. But when we talk about when we was filming, no. Why would I talk to Mulan about anything that got to do with Morgan? And you know what's crazy? Till this very day, Mulan can't tell Morgan nothing about her. Can't tell you nothing about your business. Can't tell you nothing about your man. Can't tell you nothing about your kids. Can't tell you nothing about your finances. Nothing. Nothing. She told you, I said that you was trying to have sex with me. This is the they cut out. Mulan was like, you told me that Morgan was trying to have sex with you. And I was like, girl, I never said that. Me and Morgan ain't even ever slept in the same bed. Morgan can attest to that. Me and Morgan ain't even been that close, intimate at all. So don't even play with me like that. I ain't even never had a girl experience. So stop. That's what you and your friend be doing, not me. Then she said that I said that Morgan don't get no boys or no. I can't stand saying the N-word because I've just been saying it all day. Morgan don't get no dues when we go to the club and she be leaving early. Morgan do be leaving early. Everybody see you leaving early every time. Like, girl, that's not something that I'm telling them. That's something that people is seeing on their own. What do they have to do with me? Like, girl. And it's like you telling her that this is like, and I mean, I don't know. You tell me on the homegirl meter. To me, this is like low level. Like, okay, girl, you said I was this, or you said didn't get no dues, or this is to me like on a scale of all the shit you could do to your homegirl, this is like very minuscule. Like this, like don't ever do no dumb like that about me, girl. You know, good and well, that ain't true. We don't even play like that. So I love you, girl, but and I know sometimes I'll be leaving early, but don't say no weird shit that, or whatever. Like we could have had a cool, quick little conversation. You making it seem like I talked about your kids. I slept with your husband. You trying to fight me like in that scene? She was trying to fight me like I damn killed her dog.
Not the dog.
Girl, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like I talked about her kids, or I gave her address out. It was like to me, and I kept saying it to the producers, like the level of mad that you are compared to like the alleged offense, it ain't adding up. And that's why I had to say, like, baby, you been looking for something to say, because it's just not adding up. Because even if they say I did say it, you had the world convinced that I said it. All you had to do was stand 10 by yourself. You had the world convinced that I said whatever y'all claim I said. Wasn't nobody disputing it. Everybody was like, Danny definitely said that. Even get on the internet and say I didn't say it. I was just like, I don't even get. I'm gonna let her have it.
Yeah, it was weird. Like as a viewer, when I saw the scene, you did look guilty when you was like, we ain't doing this. Like,
But you know why? Okay, let's stop there too, because I want to address this. You know why I shut that down? You remember that scene where when Megan had that head wrap, and it was me, her, and Morgan sitting at that little like Halloween bar?
Oh, okay, yeah.
So Megan came to us and was like, "Oh yeah, Mulan said that y'all got basically like y'all got a train ran on y'all." That's what she told us.
Oh Lord.
And me and Morgan was looking at Megan like, "Girl, what the hell did you talk about? Like, what the hell?" Now okay, this is when I knew TV was crazy, because I was like, now y'all just making up, because at this point, what y'all even talking about? Mulan was like, some Morgan texted her like, "Girl, what the fuck?" She saw some Morgan started texting her like, "You gonna lie and say this and this and that?" Mulan gonna text back like, "You need to be worried about your friend because she be talking about you and da da da." And Morgan was like, "Girl, shut the fuck up. You just lie about everything." So me and Morgan talked about it right then. She was like, "What's she talking about?" I told her, I said, "Girl, I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. She clearly lying. She done said we got a train run on this. Like, who just says that?" So Morgan was like, "Okay, girl, I don't believe this." So we like pushed it to the side. Like, I thought we was on the same page. Then we get to the scene and she's acting like she's so confusing. Where did this come from? It was like a full-blown actress, girl. I swear to God. I was just that's why y'all see me look like. That's why I was like, girl, shut the. Are we done? Like, I'm like, are we done? Are we done? Because you just keep talking about this same shit. This your only storyline.
I don't see any receipts, so I'm not gonna say that Danielle said something, because if something happened, they do always show the receipts, or someone ends up saying it in a confessional. And then I also went by body language, because I remember when they was like, well, my friends or other people said it, I was like, okay, well, if somebody else at the table heard you say it, I felt like they would have said it. Like, they would have been like, yeah, Danielle, you did say that.
It's so funny because Megan and Nikki be like, why the fuck would you say something to Mulan? You ain't even ever said nothing negative to us about her. I'm just like, y'all bitches.
And I mean, when would you have said it to Milan? Because you and Milan fell out episode 3. When would you have told her that?
Right, in the 2 weeks I met her, like, girl, what are you even talking about? Like, Morgan had a very strong personality the whole time we were filming. Everybody knows what that personality is, and people need to stop acting like they didn't create their own narratives. And that's why they ain't produce no receipts, because they lying.
Because it made Ashley look like, okay, at the beginning, everybody was against her, and now Ashley got all her minions and everybody in check. So season 2 storyline is gonna be everybody against you, and then Megan and Nikki and you, but then everybody else don't like you.
Exactly. And I'm just like, but my thing is, it's gonna be a few people that owe me an apology.
Baby, you
If
better
they
be loud and clear.
if they decide to come back, Neek, because y'all was too rah when she was doing all that hype. Y'all look dumb as hell. Because what they didn't know is he did that scene telling that girl that wasn't his girlfriend.
Child.
And also Ashley, because me and you ain't even ever had no problem. So why all of a sudden you so team turn up on Danielle? Because you know I'm not stupid. And I clocked her in that scene when we all was at that table and Mulan said I said that about Morgan. I said, girl, Ashley, you a puppet master. I already know what you're doing. I know you're trying to get the heat up off you, baby, but trust me, it's gonna always be on you. And if ain't on you now, it's gonna be on you in season 2.
Okay, so who do you like that's on the show?
I'm cool with Megan. That's my dog. I'm cool with Nikki. That's my dog. I'm cool with Lindsay. I didn't have a problem with Nick until she started talking about me in random little YouTube content videos she be doing with her homegirl. Somebody asked her who the weakest link on Basketball Wives is, and I think she thought that I was gonna end up being a weakest link after Mackenzie did her big one. And it didn't play out in none of their favor. So I guess she said I was the weakest link. And it was another thing that she said about me. They did a podcast talking about my kids and saying that my kids were Mackenzie's step kids, and just being real disrespectful to me because from my understanding, he telling me that that's not his girlfriend. Why are y'all referring to my kids at all? Period. Why are you referring to my children?
That wasn't his girlfriend.
Right, but at that time, you got to think about it. Nick hadn't seen that. Nick hadn't seen all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in Nick's mind, she just listened to what Mackenzie is telling her. Dwayne is listening to what Mackenzie is telling her. So they're getting on podcasts talking about my children, and it's out of line. And I'm telling them what it is. They acting like I'm the bitter baby mama. But now that they see it playing out on TV, I would just really want to know what y'all perspective is now. Do y'all want to issue an apology? Do y'all want to say, sorry for bringing up your kids? We had no idea. Like what? Because that would be my thing. I'll be like, you know what? I really genuinely thought that this was his girlfriend. They were in a serious relationship. It's obvious given the facts on television that they're not. And I do apologize for bringing up your children because I understand that's a sensitive topic for you. That's the type of woman I am. So I would definitely like to see how Neek decides to navigate that situation if she decides to come back on the show. Because that's the first thing I'm going to ask her, like, what's tea? Because you be doing a lot of this behind this and you look stupid now. So what's up?
And the kids ain't got nothing to do with that. Saying if these are Mackenzie's stepkids, they not married.
Right. But that's another thing. It's like, and if I comment, I'm bitter. And if I say that I don't want my kids around the girl, mind you, this is the thing. This is something that me and Rashad agreed upon. This is not something that I came up with. He don't want no man around his kids. And I said, cool, I don't want no females around my kids. And we agree to that. That's how we co-parent. I have no problem with Ashley either. Obviously, I attended her autism kids event. I attended her wellness event. I tried to be as cordial as possible in the beginning until I found out that she was the person that gave that address out. I never, had any ill will things to say about her besides to question her character for putting people's kids in jeopardy. But for some reason, she don't like me. I think because I'm highly educated. She always want to talk about her education. She mad, smarter than her. She can't puppet show me. She can't control what I say. I got my own. I don't need you. You didn't bring me here. So I don't know what her problem is. Mulan, obviously, if I'm only person that really got a real issue with me is Mulan because I punched her. And Morgan, I'm gonna just assume mental health crisis. That's all I'm gonna assume.
Okay. All right, we're gonna get into some fun questions.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
What a quick turn.
I was like, Danny is getting a little heated.
I'm like, girl, look, mental health crisis. That's the only thing I could think of. And I take that serious because I really do think that the people around her need to reach out and grab her and give her a hug because she's spiraling at this point. Because it's self-sabotage in your own situations. Because you was the star of this show. This was supposed to be your platform. This wasn't supposed to be put in Ashley's hands. Ashley wasn't supposed to win the season, but you let her by playing into her hand, by playing into that weird storyline. So that's why I be getting mad because it's like, girl, this is technically supposed to be your.
If you think about it, she said that at the end of the season. So
Right.
Let them fight.
Yeah, let them fight. Yeah, let them fight. She
It's
puppet show.
karma. I mean, I think on one of the things she said it's karma because I brought her on the show and she backstabbed me, and then she brought Danielle on the show and Danielle backstabbed her. So it's karma.
Girl, that's why she don't have no fans. Nobody like her. You're not likable. You're just not likable. That's why every time we do a scene, all your friends is like paid actresses. Girl, bye. You don't have no real like support in your life. Cause
Who is the clapback queen out of the cast?
I would say me. I mean, they be cutting up a lot of my scenes. It'd be funny because I don't let people talk.
Surprised you the most this season?
Definitely Morgan.
Yeah, that's just hurtful.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it given the things that we had gone through off camera
Yeah.
that I have decided not to share for her sake.
Okay, be respectful. Even with y'all beefing, it's still like, okay, I'm gonna just leave it at that. Who wouldn't
Yeah,
bust a grape in a fruit fight?
Mackenzie. A big loser. Like, girl, bye.
Who shouldn't return next season?
Mm, um, so in story, no, I like Lindsay, but no shade. I just feel like we don't really know who she is yet in story. So if they would have anybody like not return or just have to not return, to me it would have to be her, just based on like we don't know enough about her. If it goes on like people I just don't like, obviously I would say Mackenzie, but I feel like the me and Mackenzie of it all makes for good TV.
Yeah. We don't know too much about Lindsay beside the fact that she's like
She has a
Morgan's
baby.
friend and also that she's pregnant. Maybe she should be on a different show, but I don't think that she fit in with y'all.
Right. But my thing is if you ask Lindsay, because I think they asked her in one of her like pre-season interviews, like, oh, who you here with? She said, I'm here by myself. And I just thought that was so strange because I was like, technically you're Morgan's friend on the show. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
this is weird. And she be retweeting stuff like, oh, about me not being a main cast member. I'm just looking at her like, girl, you know I'm a main cast. But okay. It'd be weird. I don't know. I like Lindsay. I just some of the like stuff she be doing, like when we not in the same scenes, be a little strange to me because I be thinking like, maybe she'll play like devil's advocate because she's seen like how I revere and love Morgan or did.
Mhm.
And like, I just be hoping like some people would be like the like good angel to like bring her back to like, girl, no, she had your bag. Da, 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 like maybe you should give a conversation. But it was given like, girl, it was given like pot stir to me instead of like homegirl. You know?
Well, yeah, because when everything went down with you and Morgan, she was like with Morgan, like, well, Danielle is like this. So I kind of think it's not true. But then again, I do think it's true because Milan is like that. But then she turned around and went to breakfast with you, Megan, and Nikki. And I'm like, okay, so like, where are you drawing a line? Because they talking about this situation at the brunch. You ain't saying nothing, but you was just with Morgan, and Morgan's supposed to be your friend. Like, who is your friend? Because you're not
Right.
showing who your friend is in front of everybody.
Yeah. And my thing is her and Ashley beefed the whole season too, and they decided not to show none of that. Like they wasn't cool. You see, Ashley wasn't at her gender reveal. Her and Ashley didn't do a lot of scenes together. They had issues from the pilot that they didn't talk about. So, girl, I don't know. It's just a whole lot. But I mean, I hope the whole cast returns. That's my hope for it. Season 2. I hope everybody returns. If it's somebody I don't like, obviously Mackenzie. If it's somebody that just we don't know about in story, I would have to say Lindsay because we don't know nothing about her.
Yeah, it's a few of them that just don't need to come back because they brought nothing to the table and had personalities of doorknobs, and I'm not here for it. Like, you're
Yeah, I
boring.
mean, yeah, it's a few people that I could say about that too. Like I personally don't think I think that Neek should be on a show like The Impact. That's my personal opinion. The Impact dives a little bit more in a personal story, and like influencers and stuff like that. And it's kind of like you need to have some type of like personality to like go back and forth with people and have a dialogue. And I just don't think that's Neek's personality. I honestly think this show has tarnished her brand. That's my person. That's my personal opinion.
Mm.
I would have, if I was her, I would have probably said no to this opportunity. Um, especially given the fact that I knew that Jalen Green situation could have came up, and I have a boyfriend. And I'm sure her YouTube check is far more than what she was getting paid on Basketball Wives. So personally, I wouldn't have done this show if I was her. That's just my personal opinion.
And then she was kind of like barely even on it anyway. So
yeah, it was like, okay, girl.
Breakout star.
Me. I would say me, but I know Megan gave it to Morgan. But I feel like technically she was supposed to be like the breakout star if that last episode didn't happen the way it happened.
Child, y'all had me so mad on that last. I ain't gonna even say y'all because you ain't do nothing, but that last episode, I'm like, you freaking goofies, all y'all lame.
I already know. Everybody was mad. Everybody was mad.
Favorite moment of the season?
I ain't gonna lie. My favorite moment was Ashley's autism camp with the kids. There was a boy there who I think he was paraplegic. And he was just shooting baskets. It was just so crazy, like to just see like these little survivors and these little fighters like really hooping and playing basketball, because that's really my passion. And I also got an opportunity to connect with her husband, so it was cool. Like, me and him played in the same conference for basketball. His team was in the Mountain West, as was mine. So it was cool. I really appreciated that scene. It was actually something that was really wholesome, and we were able to really give back as much like friction as it caused. I didn't care because it was like, honestly, like I felt good doing it. The kids benefited from it. I was playing one-on-one with the kids. They cut out a lot of the scenes, but those kids really benefited from that scene. And she did it. They really didn't show the demographic of the area that she did it in, but it was actually in one of the I guess like technically like impoverished areas in Orlando, where obviously kids might not have certain opportunities. So, and it was a free camp.
And that was your moment of the season, showing like, aside from this pettiness, I'm able to go out and support an event that's helping children and other people and be lighthearted and show people I'm a basketball girly at heart.
Right. And I think that was a pivotal moment for me as a cast member, because instead of choosing like petty drama, I chose like, me and who I've always been, which is somebody who's passionate about basketball, passionate about the kids, and just being a good person. Like, it has nothing to do with like all this other stuff y'all got going on. But yeah, she had admitted to giving the address out. So yeah, I was just like, you know what? Let's put this to the side. Let's do it for the kids, but y'all still don't want you, and you still weird. And I thought I made that clear. I guess I didn't.
I mean, I always just felt like it's a job. So,
Yeah.
and you did tell your friend before you went. So, and for me, it was, okay, Morgan turned around and went to her yoga event. So why is this even an argument? If you can go to the yoga event, I can go to this event because I don't have a real problem with her. I'm just riding for you.
And my thing is when the funny part is Megan invited her to the yoga event to be messy. She was supposed to come in there and be messy, shady to Ashley. She got in there giving that girl hugs.
Hugs to the person that gave the address out. I mean,
Right.
at that point, why was we even focusing on this if y'all gonna be friends?
They didn't show that.
It ain't even no point in talking about that if we are gonna be friends.
Right. We got to yoga event. She not talking to me. I was like, what's going on?
Milan or Morgan?
Ooh. I would say Mulan.
Whoa, dang, that's crazy. I wasn't expecting you to say that.
I liked me and Mulan's friendship. I really did. I did. That's all I'm gonna say.
Short-lived.
It was short-lived, but I liked our friendship.
Megan or Nikki? I think I know who you're gonna say.
I ain't gonna say either. I love both of them equally. I feel like because they're both the OGs on the show, they both done reality TV for a long time. Neither one of them had to give me the advice that they gave me. Neither one of them had to stand on 10 behind me when it was come time to sit at the end of that scene on that boat. And I really do appreciate both of them. And I hold both of them, very high on my list of the girls on the show. So I'm gonna say them equally. am declining to choose a person.
I thought you was gonna say Megan.
I would have said Megan when it comes to the show, but I'm
Mhm.
gonna say, but me and Nikki talk every day. Like Nikki done called me 3 times since we've been on this phone, or on this call.
Nikki, we doing an interview. This my friend now.
Exactly. Right. That's why I was like, so me and Nikki, we talk every single day. I talk to Megan like every other day.
Okay, so
So
this
we all
still
close.
outside the show.
Yeah. We like this.
Neek or Mackenzie? They toe to toe.
I'm gonna say Neek. I still don't have a problem with Neek. I don't know why she don't like me. I thought me and Neek was cool. I don't know what. I don't know.
The
She
internet.
weird. The internet, for sure. Because I still don't got no problem with her. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I know what's going on now because I didn't expose her.
I mean, you have to defend yourself. Because you're
Shoulda
not
let
gonna
me
just talk
alone.
about me and I'm not gonna say nothing.
And I told her leave me alone already. So it's like, girl, leave me alone. Like, stop.
Ashley or Lindsay?
Ooh. I would say Lindsay. I like Lindsay. Because Lindsay had a scene where she read the filth, but they ain't show it. Because Ashley, I guess, there was some like little like scene where something about it was the invitation to the baby shower that was like a hot topic. Because Lindsay was like, she not invited to my baby shower. And I guess production wanted her to either invite her or tell her on camera that she's not invited. And Ashley said something to the likes of like, oh, do you want me to like leave or I can leave? She was like, girl, and I guess they got into it about something. But girl, I was hoping to see that scene because Lindsay told us that she was in there. Because I guess the girlies, I know we got a couple minutes. The girlies was mad because Lindsay was
255.
I know the girls was mad because Lindsay was choosing our side, but she was like, they the only girls, like, y'all calling them mean girls, but shit, they the only girls that's checking up on me in my pregnancy. Like, every time I look up, they buying me stuff, they looking out for me, they calling me, they, they checking in. When they had that fight and all the glass was thrown and Lindsay's foot got cut. Wow. During that scene, we checked in on her, called her immediately, like, apologizing. Nobody else did that shit. So it's like, who's really the mean girls here?
Them.
Is she whole ass pregnant? So, girl, bye.
Well, thank you, Danny. I know you said you was done talking about this show, and my girl made an exception.
Yes, I hope this is the last time. Somebody else asked me, I was like, no, I ain't even replying to him because I don't feel like doing it.
You like, I'm done with this.
I'm so done because they be getting my nerves.
I'm happy that you cleared a lot of things up, and I did enjoy seeing you on the show. I love the Black Girl Magic, and I'm looking forward to seeing your brand. And you better be on season 2.
I know everybody keeps saying that. They gonna have to pay me, child.
Well, we need the pay, and they need to do a reunion because stop being lame. Like, we need a reunion.
I think it'll be cool just to go into season 2, like just with all this momentum that we got. We got a lot of momentum. Like, I think it'll be cool just to go on season 2. Like, let's address it. End scene. What's up? Because if we do a reunion, then it's like low key squash. Yeah, no, we not squashing nothing. Like, what's up? Like, what we talking about?
Yeah, y'all had a really good season. I stayed tuned in every week, and I'm excited for y'all for season 2.
Me too. I'm excited. I hope it all works out. Maybe we'll be brought back. I ain't heard nothing yet, so we're gonna see.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, thank you. We friends now, Danny, so don't be acting fake.
Girl, I ain't gonna be acting fake. Girl, I'm as real as they come. I'll be right here. You see, I replied to you.
I know. You my girl. All right, well, have a good night.